Israel had asked for a king. They wanted someone they could see tall, strong, and powerful, someone who would fight their battles and lead them like the nations around them. Though their request revealed a restless heart, God granted it, and so Israel's first king was chosen. His name was Saul. Saul was from the tribe of Benjamin, the son of Kish. He was impressive in appearance, taller than any man in Israelland. Outwardly, everything the people desired. When Samuel anointed him with oil, the Spirit of God came upon Saul, and he was changed. At first, he ruled with humility, even hiding among the baggage when presented as king. God confirmed Saul's calling through victory. When Israel was threatened, Saul rallied the people, and the Lord delivered their enemies into his hand. The kingdom began with hope, but obedience would be Saul's test. Samuel made it clear the king was not above God's word. Saul was to rule under the authority of the Lord, not in his own strength, but pressure soon revealed what lay within his heart. When faced with an enemy and delayed by Samuel's absence, Saul grew impatient. Instead of waiting for God's instruction, he offered the sacrifice himself, an act of disobedience. Samuel confronted him, declaring that Saul had acted foolishly and failed to keep the Lord's command. Though the kingdom would continue for a time, Saul's dynasty would not endure. Still, Saul was given another chance. God commanded him to devote the Amalekites to destruction as an act of divine judgment. But Saul spared their king and the best of the spoil. When confronted, Saul justified himself, claiming obedience while holding back what God had forbidden. Samuel spoke words that would define Saul's reign. To obey is better than sacrifice. Because Saul rejected the word of the Lord rejected Saul as king. From that moment on, Saul's heart unraveled. The Spirit of the Lord departed from him, and fear and jealousy took its place. Though Saul remained on the throne, God's favor had moved elsewhere. David had been anointed. Saul soon heard the songs of the people. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. What began as insecurity grew into obsession. Saul feared losing his kingdom, and in trying to preserve it, he destroyed himself. Again and again, Saul tried to kill David. Yet David refused to strike back, honoring the Lord's anointed even as Saul hunted him. Saul's reign became marked by rage, paranoia, and isolation. In desperation, Saul sought guidance where God had forbidden. On the eve of battle, he consulted a medium, seeking the voice of the dead. It was the final sign of how far he had fallen. The next day, Israel was defeated. Saul's sons were killed. Wounded and facing capture, Saul fell on his own sword. The first king of Israel died in shame on the battlefield. Saul's story is a tragedy. He was chosen, anointed, empowered, and yet undone by disobedience. He feared people more than God, control more than obedience, appearance more than faithfulness. Saul was the king Israel wanted. David would be the king God chose, and with Saul's fall, the stage was set for a shepherd to become a king after God's own heart.